Hey y'all, Zach McDonald, your real estate agent with Real Property Associates. And today I want to share some good news with you. And that news is that Americans right now are sitting on more equity than they ever have in their homes. According to CoreLogic's most recent Home Equity Insights, their report from Q4 that was just released, we are seeing that homeowners now only have 2.1% negative equity across all mortgages in the US. And this is an important number because this is showing us how many Americans are underwater or owe more money than their house is worth. And when we look back at their historical numbers, they noted that in 2009, when they started tracking this and they started reporting in 2010, Americans, 26% of them were underwater on their mortgage. And when we think about that period of time, that was the worst or one of the worst housing crises we could ever think of, and at least one of the worst that people in recent memory have gone through. As we look at the most recent data, I'm really encouraged because this negative equity number continues to decrease. And as we look at last year, homeowners across the nation saw their homes increase 29.3% in equity year over year. That's nuts. And it equated to, from Q4 2020 to Q4 2021, year over year, $55,300 for all American homeowners. And certain areas appreciated faster and saw more equity growth. And Washington State was one of those top three across the whole country. $95,500 for the average Washingtonian. That's a lot of extra equity. And if I look at my own situation, I bought my house that I'm in 5 years ago. We paid $546,000 for this house, and right now it's worth well over $1 million. And the equity in our house is well over $600,000 in 5 years. That's crazy, more than double what we paid for it. And as I look back at that and everybody else's situation, what it says to me is that we're in a way better spot than we were back in 2006, 7, 8, where we started to see people are getting upside down on their mortgages. And as we're looking at interest rates rising and there's fear about the market, to me, this is a really encouraging thing, because even if housing prices go down, the vast majority of Americans have more than 30% equity in their homes, according to their graphs. That's a lot. Housing prices could go down 30%, and the vast majority of Americans would still be able to walk away with their with their down payment or with paying absolutely nothing. But they're not going to lose anything. And that's a really encouraging thing. It doesn't completely wipe away any fears of short sales and foreclosures and things like that. But if Americans have equity and their house is down a little bit, well, you sell it, you don't get as much as you were hoping to get out of your house, and you move on. So the housing crisis that we saw, even if home prices go down a little bit, isn't going to be what we experienced in the past. So as I'm looking at this, I'm really encouraged because Americans have a lot of money tied up in their house. Now, of course, you can't touch it unless you sell or take out another loan on your house. So I think as we see interest rates continue to climb, we might see more Americans taking out home equity lines. See if home values keep going up and they don't want to sell and buy again, you can tap into that equity. So there's ways to access that equity so you can put it to work for you. You can fix up and remodel your house. I think we're going to see a little bit more of that here. But I think it's really encouraging to see that we have more equity built up in homes, and it makes me feel more comfortable as we see interest rates going up and we start to think about, well, what does this mean for homeowners? I think part of it is also going to play out here over the next year or so. There's going to be people that want to cash in on this equity and they haven't cashed in on it yet. So I think we're going to see this summer and into the fall people starting to cash in on this equity so they can take this cash out and maybe purchase another home or do something else with it. Thanks so much for watching this video as we talk about how Americans have way more equity in their homes than in the past. If you have questions about your situation or you want to tap into the equity in your house and you live in the Seattle area, I'd love to be a resource for you.